Hello, everyone. I'm Hafidha, and I am your FOCS Events Manager and Program Coordinator, also lover of the outdoors. And I'm here with you this morning on a slightly sunny and damp Saturday morning to talk about 5 tips for dressing ourselves for the wet fall weather, and also 2 upcoming events that will get you outdoors and connecting with other families of color. One of them is later today from 1 to 3 p.m. at Dottie Harper Park in Burien from our friends at Tiny Trees. And I'll be sharing more about that soon, and hopefully we'll see you there. Before we get to that, though, I want to introduce you to Abbie. Abbie is our new Community Engagement and Advocacy Manager. Abbie just started with folks last month and is someone you should get to know, and hopefully we'll have a chance to meet at our family and community events. We're going to be doing in-person programs and online programs like this one. Abbie?
Hey everyone, it's good to meet you. I have just finished my first month at Folks and it's been amazing. I think what I'm most excited for is just getting to meet more families, getting to spend some time outside with families, and just being able to advocate for what families want to see more out of Folks, and supporting you all in whatever ways necessary.
Thank you, Abbie. I'm glad you're here with us today. And I want to go ahead and get into our program about dressing for fall weather. So first you might be wondering or asking, like, why is folks, families of color Seattle, talking about dressing for the fall weather? So the reason why we're bringing this up is because, as many of you know, there was a health crisis that caused a shutdown in March of 2020 of all in-person gatherings almost basically around the world. So that impacted us at Folks. That includes our parent groups and families and art programs. We had all of our parent groups taking place in people's homes and all of our family and arts programs happening in community spaces around the city. So folks went online, and we continue to have our parent groups online. We have parent groups anywhere from 6 to 10 parent groups running every quarter. But this past summer of 2022 was the first time we started holding in-person programming again. So in addition to some tabling events, we had 4 park days at parks throughout the city. We held park days at Carkeek up north, Judkins in the CD, Genesee near Lake Washington, and also we had our final park day. It's at Seahurst Park down in Burien. We had really wonderful success with our park days. We had over 150 people, parents, children, caregivers who showed up and enjoyed food, time playing together, our beautiful scenery here in the Pacific Northwest, and each other. So right now you should be seeing on your screen a beautiful collage of some of our families from all 4 of our park days. And we hope to kind of continue with park days next summer. But in the meantime, we want to keep on going.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to lose the momentum. We don't want to wait until summer to get our families together in person again, especially in Seattle. It can be like very cold for long periods of time. So we want to keep it going. And what that means is getting together in every quarter for fall, winter, and spring.
Yes, and we want to we want our folks to come together, but we also want them to be comfortable. We want them to stay healthy. We want to be outdoors because it's a way for us to get together, and it can be fun, and it's totally possible. Our weather is cooler and wetter in the fall and winter, but it's also pretty temperate. And so all we have to do is just be prepared. We need to take advantage of the sunny spots and sunny times during the day, and just make sure that we're dressed properly and also sort of planning properly. So this little presentation is just part of our work at Folks to help you show up confident, show up ready to go when we have opportunities to get together, and help you and your kids have a good time by being comfortable, staying healthy, and feeling pretty good about being out in the outdoors. So right now you'll be seeing a slide that's showing, it says our kids are Northwest kids. We are lucky enough to live in a very beautiful part of the world. There's a picture on screen of actually my little kiddo when they were very small. I think this was probably Edward, what is it called? St. Edward State Park, over in Kenmore. And as you can see, they're wearing some hat and wool sweater and some boots and tights, and they're near the water playing along the shoreline here. So we're going to get into some tips for how to dress, and this picture is a great segue into our very first tip, which is layers. So you want to dress in layers. I am an outdoorsy person. I love the outdoors. I go out every day, even if it's just for a walk. On the weekends, I like to try to get out for hiking, for bike riding, for just really long walks. I'm not like a weekend warrior who's like always up in the mountains every weekend. I don't have time for that. I do have a kid and I have two jobs, but I love camping. I've done mountaineering. I've even gone snow camping for the first time this year. Um, Dressing in layers is just super crucial. Anytime I forget to dress in layers or I think I don't need to, I pretty much regret it because our weather here in the Pacific Northwest changes so frequently. Throughout any given day, you will have rain in the morning, sun in the afternoon, rain again in the evening. The wind can change from 1 mile an hour to 15 miles an hour. And if you're stuck outside with not the right clothing on, then you can't adjust and you can't adapt to the weather. So for yourself and for your children, always want to dress in layers, pretty much 3 seasons a year. Even sometimes in the summertime, we still need to bring something in case it starts raining. So there's 3 layers that you want to think about when we talk about layers. The first one is your base layer. So a base layer is the layer that is closest to your skin. It's the layer that keeps your skin dry. And even though we don't typically get super heavy rainfall here, we get a lot of drizzle and there's a lot of dampness. And it can be very easy to get wet if you don't have a nice layer that actually keeps your skin dry. Now that base layer should not be cotton. It should be something that's usually some sort of performance material. And the idea is that it's almost like it could be a thermal material. It's just something that keeps you dry, but also can kind of help you stay a little bit insulated. The middle layer can also be something that's like a performance or synthetic material that helps to keep you warm. That could be fleece, a lot of those sort of, well, fleece is probably one of the best ones, but there's also some polyester mixes, and those tend to be lightweight, but a little bit permeable, or impermeable. So if you poured a little bit of water on them, it would sort of bead up. So look for something like that. Again, you don't want like a t-shirt. That's not really going to keep you warm, especially if it gets wet. Then you want to have an outer layer. And that outer layer is to protect you from moisture, the rain, and wind. So if you're outside, outside and it starts raining, that layer is going to keep your middle layer and your base layer dry and protected. It'll also keep you from the air from blowing right into your clothing. Good outer layers could be things that are like almost like a plasticky kind of material, like raincoats or wind jackets, rain jackets, obviously. Sometimes a good outer layer is also something like wool, which is very good for protection from the moisture. But those can get pretty expensive, and there's lots of different kinds of wool. So we're not going to get into that. But just keep in mind 3 layers: base, middle, and outer. All right. If you have any questions about it, you should drop them in the comments section after we post this video. All right, number 2, since we're talking about clothing and layers, I definitely encourage you to buy or get used clothing and other gear. So good outdoor clothing, good quality clothing is expensive because of the manufacturing process. The materials that are sourced, like really good quality materials, are not cheap to come by. You can get cheaper things, but they're usually going to be reflected in terms of the price is going to be reflected in the quality. They'll fall apart, or they actually won't keep you warm, or they're really bad on your skin. They cause irritation. So good outdoor clothing is expensive, so you don't necessarily want to buy it brand new, especially if you have kids who are growing in spurts. They might outgrow it 2 months after you buy it, and then you'll be really upset or just broke. Like, so I spent a lot of my time when my kid was little going to thrift stores and secondhand stores, consignment shops. There's a lot of them all over the city. You can also check on Buy Nothing. People often have more clothes for their kids than their kids can actually wear, so they're constantly offloading them. And we also have gear exchanges, which is something that's happening later today from 1 to 3 at Dottie Harper Park. Gear exchanges are spaces and places where you go and um, you bring your stuff and other people bring their stuff and you swap, or you just sort of drop off things and then pick up things. And it's a great way to get to meet people, but also a great way to get things for your kids without having to pay anything at all. You also want to, when you're getting or buying used, you can also do, of course, hand-me-downs and give away your items when you're done with them. A lot of people use our Families of Color Seattle Facebook page to give away things, so you can also check on there. If you're not already part of our Facebook group, go ahead and go to Facebook and go ahead and sign up. We usually accept those every couple of days, accept new people into the group every couple of days. We have thousands of people in that group. And again, it's a great source for resourcing materials or giving away items. Some of the
I
brands you,
also,
oh, go ahead, Abby.
sorry, no, I also just recently went to the thrift stores in Seattle, and I did find North Face and Nike puffer jackets. So you can definitely find really good gear if you're looking for them. And I think the most expensive one I found was like $25. So you can find like name brand gear that is still going to keep you warm, that is on a budget, and like supporting our local economy as well.
Yes, thank you so much for that point. Yeah, the thrift stores and consignment shops are full of good quality stuff. Another place that you can sometimes get really good stuff is Costco. They'll have some good brands there and good quality brands. Of course, it's Costco, so you can't count on it always being there or being there all year round. But if you see a good bargain, they're really great for getting gloves. I've enjoyed the gloves there, and also sometimes you can get some good wool socks there too. All right, I'm going to go to the next slide, which is dressing for comfort. So a lot of times, this is one that's really, really important and dear to my heart. So a lot of times as parents, we get caught up in what looks cute or was a good deal or was just given to us by, relatives, or maybe our older kid wore it. So now we want the younger kid to wear it. But then the kids won't wear the item because it's not comfortable. And sometimes, I want to really encourage folks to really listen to their kids. There's a lot of kids with sensory issues. I was a kid with sensory issues. I'm now an adult with sensory issues. So sometimes kids have sensory issues and something's not comfortable. Sometimes something's not comfortable and because it's actually not fitting them properly. And that can actually cause it can actually be unsafe for them to wear it. So if they're wearing pants that are too long, or the sleeves are too long, or something else like that, if it doesn't fit them properly and they slip and fall, or they can't move properly in the clothing, then they really shouldn't be wearing it. It's better for them to get something else. So I definitely encourage you to pay attention and listen when you're bringing in new clothes for your kids. Have them try it on and ask them, like, how does this feel? And if they say it's like, I don't like this, or it's too hot, which is a big one. A lot of times kids are too hot because they're moving around and their heartbeats are running faster than ours. So that they take the thing off and then they're not wearing any layer at all that they need to be wearing. The other thing is, if they're saying it's too wet, that might give you an indication that the item is actually not waterproof anymore. So listen to what they're saying and adjust, and be prepared to adjust. This is also a good reason to buy used or get things for free, so that you don't feel so invested in this item that might have been very, very expensive, but it's just not right for your kid. So yeah, check for comfort. Clothes that are comfortable, kids will wear. They will love them, and you might, in fact, have a hard time getting them to stop wearing it. All right, the next item, number 4, is take short trips. So if you're not used to going out a lot, if you've never been on a hike with your family, then the first time you go out, it should not be like a 2-hour hike. It should be like a 20 to 30 minute nice, easygoing visit to a park that has some trails. You can even do like a 20-minute walk in your neighborhood. Really think about where are you at in your outdoor experience, and make your first ventures out very easy on yourself and your kids, because the idea is to have a good time and do it again and again, not to have like one really big excursion and then swear it off for the next 6 months. Did you want to say something, Abby?
I think I can fall in the realm of like getting too ambitious with going outdoors. I can tend to be a hermit sometimes. And then I'll be like, I need to be outdoors. And I will try and do something that is like way out of my comfort zone. And then I end up not getting used to that. I get really burnt out by the experience. And so doing things in small spurts of time and like little things has helped me get outdoors more without feeling like, oh, I'm never outdoors or this was too much for me. And so it just takes like a little bit every couple of days for me. And now I feel like I have a routine of being outside versus like when I would try and do very long hikes and then I wouldn't do it again for like 5 months. So definitely just know yourself, know your family, whatever makes sense for you all. Don't overexert yourself to try and get people outside is what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Abby. Yeah, we don't need you to be like going from 0 to 100. It's really about being consistent and feeling comfortable, like being, we want it should be enjoyable. You should be having a good time outside. And especially if you're a person who doesn't like the rain, who doesn't like the clouds. We have a lot of folks here who are coming from sunnier climates, and getting used to our weather is not super easy for them. So give yourself some grace and give yourself some time, and yeah, just be gentle with yourself and be gentle with your kids. I would also say, like here like I said before, the weather can change throughout the day. So if you notice, you're inside and maybe you're about to watch a movie, but then you notice the sun has come out outside, might be a great time to just say, hey, let's just go take a quick walk outside now for 15-20 minutes and enjoy the sunshine. And then we can come back inside and watch this movie and do an indoor activity. So we have to kind of we have to be very opportunistic here in the Pacific Northwest and be opportunistic about the weather, because it could just blow in and be sunny for like the last hour before the sun sets. But all day earlier it was gloomy, and you missed that 1 hour of sunshine. And it could just make the days and the winters seem really, really long here. All right, we're going to go to our last tip. And the last tip is joining others. So we're always more likely to do things if we have plans with someone else. So it could be that you have a plan like going to a folks event that's going to be in person, or going to like the mushroom hike that's coming up next week. Or it could just be hanging out with a friend, another family, or a group of neighbors. So your kids will have more fun, and so will you if you make a plan or just call up a friend and say, hey, you want to meet? It looks like it's going to be sunny this afternoon, or it looks like it's going to be like cool, but it'll be dry this afternoon. So see if some other people want to go with you, and then you're more likely to go there, and you'll have someone else to talk to while you're there.
Too, you can also have like an accountability buddy of like every time it's sunny, me and Hafidha message each other and say we're gonna go for a walk, or just having some way to make yourself accountable, because I can be so easy to not do stuff unless someone else is like, oh, I'm doing this, you should do it too. And it makes it a lot easier and can like help, you can encourage each other to both do the activity.
Yes, I love that idea of having a friend or a couple of friends who you all sort of make a commitment to spend more time outdoors, even when it's no longer summertime. That's a great idea, Abby. Thank you. All right, well, we're done with our tips. For now, I want to go ahead and tell you about 2 programs that are coming up. These are programs that Folks is not hosting. Our friends at Tiny Trees Preschool, which is a great POC-led organization. They have preschools that are all outdoors, exclusively outdoors, all throughout Seattle. They have like 6 to 8 different locations, so you can check out their website at Tiny Trees. I think it's tinytrees.org or tinytrees.com. I'll have to double check on that. But if you go to their event today, they have one at Dottie Harper Park. It's actually at a classroom facility. They are doing an outdoor gear drive where you can donate and pick up gently used outdoor gear for your kiddos. They'll have sizes 2T to 6T available, but they'll probably have other sizes as well, just depending on what people bring. So they're sort of bringing some stock with them, but they're counting on others bringing things as well. So if you have stuff at home that your kids can't fit anymore, or that they didn't really like, or that you're not so sure about, you can just bring it there and drop it off. And you can also kind of scan the inventory and see if there's anything you'd like to pick up instead. And again, that's at 1 p.m. today until 3 p.m. today at Dottie Harper Park at 421 Southwest 146th Street in Burien, Washington. That's today. I'll be there, and I think a couple of other folks' families will be there. It'll be great to see folks show up and support the folks at Tiny Trees. One of our, basically an organization folks will be collaborating with over the coming months. And then next week, an event I'm really excited about, and I also plan to be there, is Tiny Trees is holding a funky mushroom family hike. So this should be great. They're going to be doing a fall hike and a mushroom hunt at Cougar Mountain at the Redtown Trailhead next Saturday, November 5th, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. So it's not an all-day hike. It's just a morning hike, a late morning hike from 10 a.m. to 11:30. They'll have mushroom guides. This is the time of year where the mushrooms are just starting to sprout everywhere, and they'll have activities available. You can find out more and RSVP at their bit.ly link. That's bit.ly/funky mushroom 2022. Again, it's bit.ly, bit.ly/funky mushroom 2022. And I'll go ahead and post in our Facebook group the links to these again, and I'll also send these out in our Google groups. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and start closing us out and say thank you. I'm very curious if you have any more ideas for things that we can do. I want to know if you liked this little program that Abby and I did. You can send your ideas, your feedback, your tips, and photos even of you and your family outdoors to programs@folkseattle.org. Abby, what did you want to say before we close out?
Yeah, just thank you, everyone. I'm excited to get started on these outdoor events and even start taking on some of these tips myself. If you have any ideas for any people you'd like to see us partner with, or different parks you really want to be at, please do send us an email. We're taking all your feedback and trying to show it out in these outdoor events. But yeah, very excited to be with community with you all, and excited to see you at some of these events coming up.
Thank you, Abby. I also want to say we are going to be partnering, and we're currently exploring collaborations with, in addition to Tiny Trees, the Bronze Chapter, which is a great group that has to do with skilling up people of color in the Seattle area and Washington state as a whole to be skillful, competent recreationalists in the outdoors. The Environmental Science Center down at Seahurst Park, Nurturing Roots over in Beacon Hill, and of course Tiny Trees. It's tinytrees.org. You can go to their website and learn more about the activities that we boosted today. And yeah, let us know what you think, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much.